I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, I'm starting to get inundated with a lot of these emails from realtors trying to sell assignments in various strata in the lower mainland here, some of them downtown. So I thought you guys would find this interesting. I'll give you one here that just came across my desk. And these sellers are going to be looking at a pretty good loss on this unit. And welcome to the world of pre-sales. I've told you guys about this for many, many years on why I'm not a huge fan of pre-sale. It can make sense in some what I call certain circumstance or special circumstance. Watch my other blogs on buying pre-sale and where it might make sense. Perhaps maybe an investor, if you buy a one bed or a studio, maybe those can make sense. You're not committing a whole lot of as much capital there. You're buying it for 600 or 650 or 700. But once you start getting into the 2-bed, the 3-bed, and you're dropping $2 million or more, if you're buying a luxury condo, a luxury strata pre-sale, you better be 1,000% committed to buying and moving into this unit 4, 5, 6 years down the road when it finally you finally get the keys on it. And if you're not, then boy, you can be in some serious trouble. You could be losing 2, 3, 4, 500K in the blink of an eye. So this one, I'll give you guys, a lot of people are interested in, this is the Butterfly, West Bank's Butterfly over here, just off Burrard and Nelson here. So they're starting to get assignments in here. This strata is due to be completed at the end of the summer, although that might be optimistic. We'll see. This guy claims midsummer, but I'm not too sure. We're already in midsummer, and I haven't heard the occupancy getting covered there yet, but we'll see. But I'll give you the numbers on this thing. It's a 19th floor unit facing mostly north, a northeast exposure. Not my favorite. Some people might like it. But most of the exposure on this unit is north, so it's going to be dark. Sure, you'll have a little bit of peekaboo views of the mountains there, but it'll be a little bit on the dark side. Wouldn't be my most favorable outlook, for sure. It's 1,100 square feet, 2-bed, 2-bath, completion summer of 2024. The seller has put down a 25% deposit, so you've got to assume the $487,000 deposit that the developer has on hold. They're saying that the price includes the 3% assignment fee because these developers have got their hands out at every corner. Used to be able to sell an assignment free, folks. I know it seems crazy. Now these developers want a 3, 4, 5% assignment charge. They want a percentage of any profit, if there is any profit. It's crazy. Totally different game now than what it was 10 or 15 years ago to buy pre-sale. The price includes 1 storage locker and 1 bike locker. But this price doesn't, so I'll tell you. So again, it's 1,100 square feet. They paid $1,949,900, so $1,950,000 plus GST. That's not included there. They now have it listed as an assignment for $1,749,000. So $200,000 below what they paid for it, I think probably about 4 years ago. So they're going to be taking a pretty good loss, plus their commissions of another $40,000, $45,000 on top of this, and that's just their asking price. It's probably going to sell under that. So that works out to, and I should point out here's the kicker here, that does not include parking. That $1,750,000, no parking. If you want parking, they do have the right to purchase up to 2 parking spaces at $75,000 per parking space. So these are not cheap. So if you add it all up, they're asking $1,750,000, $87K in GST. Another, let's just say you buy 1 parking spot, that's another $75,000. That comes out to $1,912,000. That works out to pretty much exactly $1,700 a square foot. Which, in today's market for a luxury condo, it's going to be a nice strata, I think. About par for the course. $200,000 less than what these people paid for it. So this is, the perils of buying pre-sale. Now, I don't know the circumstances with these sellers. There's a number of these. This isn't the first one I've seen. And there'll be a whole bunch that are going to come out as this building gets occupancy, because selling an assignment is very difficult, as you guys know. You can't put this on the MLS for the most part because the developer is holding back units after they get completion, and they'll have some tangible units to sell. So they don't want the competition. So usually you have to go through, all other means to get exposure to these, either spamming realtors like myself with this listing, or putting it on Craigslist or Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace or whatever. Makes it very difficult to sell because you just can't get any exposure on these units, any interest. So You know, I don't know the circumstance. It was obviously, this is the problem with pre-sale. You bought it, they would have bought this 4 years ago. Over the last 4 years, so much stuff can change with a person. You can lose your job. You can get a job transfer and have to move out of province. You can get a divorce. You can be disabled. There's a myriad of things that can happen, and that's the thing with pre-sales. It's one thing to buy a one bed here for $800K, and if you don't want to move into it, well, you know, at least that, wait till it's complete, put it on the market. You know, it should be a fairly straightforward sale. But once you get up to $2 million and above, you know, you want to buy these, you know, and move into them. And if you don't, it's going to be a tough sale in that price category. But it's probably a change of circumstance here. And that's the problem with pre-sale, having to wait 4, 5, 6 years. You know, this is kind of going to go the same way as the last luxury building in this neighborhood, which was Burrard Place. And that building, which got occupancy 2 years ago, I've done blogs on that. That took 6 years from the time those units were purchased, first put at the pre-sale center, till the time they got keys. It was a long construction process because COVID slowed it down. So, you know, the 2 and 3 bedrooms in Burrard Place, anyone that tried to sell those took a fairly substantial loss. The studios in 1 bedroom unit guys, they did okay. As a matter of fact, most of them I think made a little bit of money from the pre-sale price. But as you get into those upper price ranges, it gets tougher and tougher to make any money. This guy, if he gets his asking price, which is probably going to be tough because, you know, they're having to try and sell it as an assignment right now, and that's a tough go, are probably looking at least $200,000 to $250,000 loss on this, and probably more. You know, what'll happen here is if they can't sell it as an assignment, they're going to have to complete on it, pay the $75,000 or $87,000 in GST, and then try and sell it as a tangible unit. But that's trouble too, because now the unit's never been lived in. You're going to get a double dip on the GST. $87,000 to complete, and then whoever, depending on how the contract is written, the new buyer or the seller again is going to have to pay another set of GST. It's tough. Quick other one here I want to give you guys. I always like to go into the MLS here. This is one on Gilbert Road. This is a 1.5, just coming up to 2-year-old strata on Gilbert Road. And these are tough sales right now. There is so much inventory of new condos in and around this Brighouse area. There's 1,000 or more going up on Capstan on SkyTrain there. But a few things with this one. They listed this as 550 square foot, 1 bed, 1 bath with parking, decent finishings. It's on Gilbert Road, not the greatest area. You're too far away from SkyTrain. You could walk it, I guess, but it'd probably take you about half an hour, 25 minutes. Not a whole lot in this area. You got a Rona hardware store across the street. Now, kitty corner, there is a new Shoppers Drug Mart, I think, but you're pretty limited for grocery stores or anything like that. You got to get in your car for this for sure. They listed this 200 days ago. It's tenanted, of course, so it shows like shit. The photos look crap. Looks like a mess inside. Listed it for $628,000 at first listed, to try and get multiple offers. It was one of those ones, let's price it low, see if we can get a bidding war. But this is not the market for that. Kept it on the market for 10 days, obviously didn't get any real action on it. Increased the price to $678 for the next 150 some odd days. Now they've reduced it to $659. Tenanted for $2,200 a month. Of course, it says in the remarks here the tenant wants to stay. Well, of course the tenant wants to stay. $2,200 a month, probably a little light on rent, not too much for that area. But, you know, $660,000 for this unit. Just these units for an investor are only as good as what else is out there. And I'll tell you what's out there because I work with a lot of investors. I just sold a really nice, in one of my favorable stratas in the West End. Good older concrete strata. We paid $620K for it, bought it with 1 day on market. The realtor didn't do holdbacks, which is great. Looked at it, wrote an offer 2 hours later on it with subjects because I was the only offer. $620K we bought this unit for, and this unit will rent for $2,700. So $30K less than this unit, and it'll get you about $500 more rent, maybe even $600 more. And the West End one is sitting on a very, very valuable piece of property, a double-sized lot with a side garden the size of a football field. You could put 2 towers on this. And 100, the walk score of about 100 just off Denman Street. This has a walk score on Gilbert here of about 50. So these are tough sells. The other thing too, the pet peeve, you guys know, of course, I talked a little bit about the marketing text that realtors use and how the word iconic is overused. This is a 2-year-old, very basic, humdrum, cookie cutter strata. Nothing more, nothing less. It might be a decent enough strata, but it's nothing special. Don't miss this stunning and iconic residence is the opening title. This is not iconic. Realtors, stop using that. Remember, I did that blog a couple of months ago on the overuse of iconic. Iconic is reserved for the unique, the best of the best. The Empire State Building is iconic. The Statue of Liberty is iconic. John Lennon would be an iconic musician. That's iconic. When you use iconic for anything less than that, then it cheapens the whole thing. You can watch my blog I did a couple of months ago on it. But so this is a tough sell. $1,200 a square foot in not the greatest neighborhood, and tenanted for $2,200 a month for $660K. A tough sell. There's just a lot better stuff out there, and it shows. You know, we're coming up to 215 days on market. I think they're probably going to have to reduce this a few more times. And there's just a lot of competition. Unlike the West End in Vancouver, there's not a lot of stuff for sale. And there's nothing for sale right now as far as the good, high quality strata that I have on my watch list. I've got about 8 buildings on my watch list. If something hits, I'm usually going after it or trying to buy it. Nothing. And I'm not expecting much over the next couple of months for the summer months either. Brighouse, on the other hand, you can probably pull up 200 units that are very similar to this. So it's a tougher sell out there. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, have a good weekend. Thanks for watching. See you next week.